Hello, I am Sakashita from Alpha Advisors. Today, I am at the Chicago Booth Business School. Well, it is also the alma mater of Izumi, the representative of Alpha. And every year we have many successful candidates from Alpha here. It is one of the top schools. Recently, with the increase in private equity funds and investment banking M&A in Japan, many people who want to study in Chicago have been coming to Alpha. In Chicago, I took about an hour to meet with Agnes exclusively for Alpha, where I introduced the qualifications and addressed concerns that applicants might have, such as how to prepare for the exams. I also discussed the unique curriculum and source work at Chicago Booth in detail. Today happens to be the first orientation day for the first-year students, so it's a bit lively. But I would like to include a brief reflection on the visit with Izumi.
Thank you for your attention. Well, we had about 25 participants in this American MBA campaign tour, and everyone has mentioned that they learned a lot. We traveled from Boston to New York and then to Chicago. And now we will split into groups going to Stanford and Los Angeles. It's really about understanding the unique characteristics of each school, as well as the features of the region and the job hunting situation. Indeed, everyone realizes that knowing the real voices and real situations is extremely important for MBA admissions. For those who are going to take the MBA, I believe you should almost master campus visits. Therefore, I hope you will consult with Alpha as soon as possible. There may be some recent fluctuations in the yen, but regarding finance, it has been decided that the insurance industry will comprehensively dissolve its holdings. Well, there are discussions about easing regulations in employment and nursing care, so I believe the environment surrounding Japanese companies will become quite challenging. Therefore, I strongly encourage everyone to consider pursuing an MBA abroad early on, to develop themselves into global talents who can work internationally. It would be beneficial to start preparing for this, so please feel free to reach out for consultation.
Yes. This time I think many people wonder which school is the best when it comes to choosing a school. However, those who participated this time said they were really glad they came, and I felt the same way. I had been saying for a while that it's better to do a campus visit, but recently, including the economic situation in the United States, there has been quite a disparity due to unfortunate regional differences. Of course, the school itself is important, but the environment around the school is also significant. This was my first time visiting downtown Chicago during the day, and I found it to be incredibly beautiful. Honestly, I didn't have much of an image of it before, but it was impressive. There are high-rise buildings and highlights like the Michigan Avenue, and there are also beautiful natural areas nearby. It's not just about Chicago, but many first-year students who are about to enroll are also coming here. Well, for the next 2 years, being able to study in such an environment, and then potentially collaborating with investment banks, funds, or corporations, is truly something to be envious of and wonderful. I think it's great. So I encourage not only those pursuing an MBA, but also those from other graduate schools to come and join us. Let's all work hard together. And during today's Chicago MBA admission session, let's talk about Chicago. If you could easily share what you've heard, that would be great. First of all, Chicago has one very distinctive feature. As you know, Izumi, there isn't a fixed curriculum. The only mandatory program is the leadership program, but otherwise, you can freely design your own electives. So, to summarize 3 points. The first is about the curriculum, which ultimately allows you to clarify what you want to do, and Chicago provides full resources for that. They mentioned that the community can be utilized very effectively. Additionally, there is often a competitive image associated with Chicago. While everyone is of course a professional in their own right, it was emphasized that there are many very kind, collaborative, and supportive people gathered here. In a place like Wiebolt Hall, some people might associate Chicago with finance, but I really want you to refine how you can utilize Chicago to achieve your goals based on what you want to do. At the same time, I am also looking at how I can contribute to Chicago, including the Chicago Booth Business School and the entire community in Chicago.
Well, it truly is one of the world's top business schools. There are many other good schools as well, each with its own unique features, so I encourage everyone to compare them. When you go to Chicago, you can pursue not only finance, but also consulting in various industries, including tech. Additionally, like me, you can start your own business after working in a foreign company. It seems many people are becoming entrepreneurs. And in this world, there is a growing trend towards running their own businesses. Well, first of all, everyone, the current situation in Japan is like this, and many people are considering coming to the US for an MBA. There has been a significant increase in those who want to settle in America afterward, and I believe that is a very wise decision. If you come to Chicago, you can reach out to any industry or company. For those who really want to go to Chicago, I would recommend consulting with Izumi as soon as possible.
Well then, tomorrow I will be hearing about Stanford and Los Angeles. But I would like to summarize everything at some point. Please do reach out for career advice. Many people are uncertain about pursuing an MBA, choosing a school, or seeking general career advice and job change consultations. I am really committed to responding to these inquiries. So please don't hesitate to consult with me as soon as possible. Yes, it seems like
Everyone seems so fresh and, well, it's a bit enviable. I think to myself that you all will be able to study for your MBA here for the next 2 years, and while it's not exactly like it was yesterday, it brings back memories. After all, there are no regrets among those who study abroad for an MBA. I've noticed that recently the number of people wanting to pursue an MD has significantly increased, but on the other hand, there seems to be something else going on. Well, there are people who say things like, you can't go because your family or your wife is against it. I really think that's a shame. Ultimately, the career development, income increase, and the opportunity to take on larger and more global management roles that come after pursuing an MBA are significant returns that you won't experience unless you go. You cannot gain anything by talking to people who are unaware of such a world. It would be meaningless, and ultimately, it's up to you to decide whether to use that as an excuse to not go. If you don't come, then you will only have a life that reflects that choice. However, for those who really want to go abroad, is there anyone who has even a 1 millimeter desire to do so? I truly believe that everyone should definitely come here. People from around the world are indeed working hard and they are employed at top global companies. So if any of you are even slightly considering pursuing an MBA, it is absolutely worth overcoming all the challenges to make it happen. Absolutely. Definitely consult with Alpha as soon as possible. Also, campus visits are really a must. I realized that, again, during this visit. Each school has its own unique character. As expected, they mentioned the importance of status. Since it's not during the COVID period anymore, no one is clearly wearing masks. We visited places like Harvard and Columbia, but it's not just about the Japanese participants in our tour. There were quite a few people who came from the self-advocacy side of the nuclear power business, so I think there's a feeling of why aren't they coming? Therefore, I believe that the chances of getting accepted into an overseas MBA are probably very slim if they don't come to campus business. Even if you go individually, there are various know-how involved, so I hope you will definitely consult with Alpha. Yes, there are still applications this year for next year. Well, next year with Trump and so on, it might be something that happens. If you become president, your job opportunities may become quite limited, so it's important to act early. As we have mentioned, this is almost becoming a reality, and I believe Japan is quite strict in this regard. Earlier, there was a person who graduated this year, and at Alpha, it is generally difficult for Japanese individuals to find jobs in places like the UK. However, this person was committed to finding a job in the UK and focused on job hunting there. I received some information from a sports gym instructor, a girl, who reported that she secured a job at Deloitte in New York after her MBA in the United States. Many people are finding local employment or overseas jobs after their MBA in various places like the UK, the US, and Singapore. So it's not just about overseas employment anymore. Moving forward, it seems that this trend will continue. Isn't it about Alpha now? I've accumulated quite a bit, and since I have that network today, I spoke with people from GAFA M and also heard from someone working in New York. Personally, I've been catching up with a former colleague who works at Goldman Sachs in New York. The people from Alpha are increasingly finding jobs in places like the United States, the United Kingdom, Singapore, and Hong Kong, creating a strong network. I plan to continue opening up opportunities for those in the Alpha community, so I hope you can use the Alpha offer as a stepping stone to explore the world. I truly look forward to the day when you all come to Alpha, whether next year or the year after, and attend this orientation in Chicago. Please work hard and look forward to it.
All right. Please continue.